Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are here to do chapter 6. Okay, this is going to be about the seals. The seals. Okay, now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals. So there is 7 seals on the scroll. On the scroll that the Lamb took. The Lamb obviously is Jesus. Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, so this would be the first seal, and I heard one of the 4 living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a white horse, he who sat on it had a bow and a crown, so a crown meaning authority, a bow meaning a weapon, was given to him. So the bow and the crown was given to him. So it didn't mean that he had it himself already. It was given to him. And he went out conquering and to conquer. Now I've heard many people say that this verse is basically describing the Antichrist. Okay? And there is significance for that. He went out to conquer. He went out conquering and to conquer. That's what the Antichrist is supposed to do. Okay? And even the title of it is the first seal, the conqueror. So there is much debate on that topic. Without me knowing more, I can't make a assumption, but conquer, to conquer, conquering, to conquer, there does seem to be quite a few hints. Anyway, the verses here are Psalms 45, 4 and 5, and Zechariah 1, 8, and Zechariah 6, 3. Now for the second seal, okay? When he opened the second seal, that's talking about the Lamb, opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." Another horse, fiery red, went out, and it was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. And this verse is Zechariah 1:8 and 6:2. Now, according to what I know so far, this is supposed to be war. So we have the first one, the Antichrist. Then we have, so the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is the Antichrist, I believe. The Antichrist, war, famine, and death, I believe. But the red horse is red, blood, war, okay? And it's signified by the word take peace and to make people kill one another, war, okay? The third seal, okay, when he, talking about the Lamb still, opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. Scales are used for balancing, but it's also used in reference towards purchasing and buying things as well. Okay? Many times in the Old Testament. Zechariah 6, verse 2 and verse 6. Okay? And I heard in the midst of the 4 living creatures, I heard a voice in the midst, so a voice in the presence of the 4 living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius." Now, the idea here is that food is going to become so doggone expensive, you can barely survive. Like a quart of wheat, that's basically a loaf of bread, okay, for a denarius. That's a day's wage. So if you can imagine, one whole day's pay just for a loaf of bread, okay, and 3 quarts of barley, okay, for a denarius. So there's going to be an exchange, and it's going to be very unfair, okay, and do not harm the oil and the wine, okay. So this, as you see, a black horse, unfair, a black horse coming out. What do we know about this black horse? Unfair paying for food, unfair paying for the ones they give here is food items. So that would be significant and connected to the fact that it's going to be related to food, okay, to the market, So in markets, you're going to have to look out and pay attention for when you have a huge boom of food is so doggone expensive that you can't even stand it, and you can barely survive, okay? And the description of this paragraph is the third seal, scarcity on earth. So like a famine, a big famine, and that would make sense as to why the food would become so much expensive. That something would happen and there would be a huge famine all over the planet, even more than what there is now. And food's going to be so scarce that it's going to be just astronomically expensive, okay? Now for the fourth seal, and this one's entitled Widespread Death on Earth. Gives you a hint of what it's about. So far we have the white horse, we have the red horse, and we have the black horse, okay? When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature, come and see. So I looked, and behold, a pale horse, okay? A pale horse. And the name of him who sat on it was Death. Very simple understanding what the fourth horse is. And Hades, that would be hell, followed with him. And power was given. So power, right? Power, authority, power to do much evil was given. Now we don't know if it was evil, or if just the power was to be given to him in order to like pay people back for what they've done that's wrong or anything like that. Okay. But power was given to them over a fourth of the earth. Now this is only a fourth of the earth. So think about it like this. 1/4 of the entire earth, okay? He had power over 1/4 of the entire earth, okay? To kill with the sword, with hunger as well, because, you know, the whole scarcity of food is still going on, with death, right? And by beasts of the earth. So animals are going to start just attacking people and killing people, okay? What kind of beasts they are, we don't know. We don't know if it's a lion or deer or what or whatever, or even if it's earthly beasts. It could be beasts from hell. Okay, we don't know this, but this one is given authority over 1/4 of earth. Now, mind you, up to this point, let's re-examine. Antichrist has showed up. The first horse that people believe to be the Antichrist. People will be conquered by this person, or by this horse, if you will. War will go crazy. Peace will be taken from them. People will be fighting for their life. They will be afraid. They will be in hiding. It will be a terrible time to be alive. Okay. The black horse, okay, which is unfair. So food, famine, food, hunger, starvation, all of that's going on. You could probably imagine a lot of people dying from that. And now comes, widespread death. Widespread meaning all over the planet. Okay. Now comes the fifth seal. Cry of the martyrs. These are basically people who died as a martyr for their faith. Okay. When you open the fifth seal, I saw under the altar in heaven, the souls of those who had been slain for what reason? Listen to what it says after that. Slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. Okay. And this includes many of the apostles, if not all of them. And they cried with a loud voice. Now, these are directly people, okay, who had been killed for their faith, for standing up for their faith, and for testifying of God's grace and love. Basically, they were killed for no other reason other than that they love God. Okay, and they cry out with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" This is referencing Zechariah 1:12. Then a white robe was given to each of them. Okay, so a white robe was given to each of them that had each of these martyrs. Okay, and it was said to them that they should rest a little while longer, until both the number of their fellow servants, that means other people that were still to be killed for the faith, right, and their brethren, that's the body of Christ, and so basically it's saying, hey, you need to wait a little while longer for the judgment to come on people who did you wrong, because of the fact that there's still people that need to be saved, as well as there's still people that are to be killed for their faith. Okay, brethren who would be killed as they were was completed. Other people being martyred. Okay. Then comes the sixth seal. This is the cosmic disturbances. Cosmic meaning outer space. Okay. I looked, and when he, the Lamb, opened the sixth seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake. A massive earthquake, like nothing you've ever seen. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair. Now, I do have some learning about this right now. And the moon became like blood. So, I don't know if you guys been paying attention to science, but right now, in our time, right now, here's what they've discovered. The moon is starting to turn reddish color. And they discovered it's because of rust. The moon is rusting. Okay? Now that's crazy. And it fits in line with this, that the moon will become like blood. Okay? It'll become reddish. Okay? And not only that, but the sun is starting to have black spots all over the place on it. So this is stuff that's actually occurring. Okay? And the stars of heaven fell to the earth, probably meteors, asteroids, things like that. As a fig tree drops its late figs when it is shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll. So the sky rolled up when it is rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place. Now that's a worldwide earthquake, basically, that shakes everything and shifts everything. Okay, and the kings of the earth, the kings, the people in authority, presidents, all of that, the great men, the people that pride themselves, say, I'm great, the rich men, the people that are rich and famous, the commanders, the people in charge of armies and stuff, the mighty men, the men that claim to be strong, every slave and every free man hid themselves in the caves, in the rocks of the mountain. This is Psalms 2, verse 2 through 4, and Isaiah 24:21, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and he is able to stand. Now, when you read Matthew 24, you understand the context that that's after the rapture. This section right here talking about people hiding in the mountains under the rocks and asking the rocks to fall on them and hide them. That's referencing that after the rapture, when people are in Matthew 24, 25 area, as well as the other Gospels, talking about after the rapture occurs and the plagues, and not the plagues, the seals and the bowls of wrath are being poured out, and people just want to hide from it. Okay, so that's what that's discovering. Anyway, guys, thank you for your time. We just hit Revelation 7, so I will see you tomorrow, if it be God's will, and if everything goes okay, for Revelation 7. This will be Tuesday, my time. Okay, be blessed.